All right, hello, CUNA. So we're going to just do a review of all of our legislators in District 23, how they voted, how they're scoring. Um, it's about 6 weeks. Is it weeks? 6 weeks through, and a lot of things have been going on the state level, and there are a lot of videos. But for me to like continue and show clips would require me to download the sessions, and they're like 6 gigabytes long, and then I got to hop through it. Um, when really at the end of the day, I just care how they vote. And if it's maybe in a voting in a way that I am kind of concerned with, Senator Lakey tends to be very good about explaining, his votes. And I've done quite a bit of videos with him. Anyway, here is a letter or update from Representative Tina Lambert. She states, "We all know that the reason the American colonies separated from England was over the issue of high taxation." Now, Representative Lambert is one of 20, I believe it's one of 20 members in the JFAC committee, which sets the budget. So that's why she's talking about this. We are approaching the 250th anniversary of that event, and the Idaho, sorry, they're the committee that recommends budget bills to the state and to the Senate and the House. So what they passes on. So she has a lot of power in some sense in that. We are approaching the 250th anniversary of that event, and the Idaho State Historical Society has requested $1 million of taxpayer money to develop and oversee Idaho's portion of the celebration. By the way, the governor recommended taking $1.65 million from taxpayers for this project. In JFAC on Friday, Senator Herndon pointed out that it's ironic to spend taxpayer money to celebrate separating from England over the issue of high taxation, right? Only four of us on the committee are fiscally conservative enough to vote no, and the budget passed with 16 committee members voting in favor. Just know you can count on me to continue to advocate for smaller government and lower taxes. Please reach out to me sometime with concern for questions. So yeah, she consistently votes on JFAC against these kinds of extra expenditures. But the way that they set up these committees is such that they can vote no all they want, and their will not get passed. Versus I guess what they are calling themselves Main Street, what the Main Street or the mainstream politicians will go. Anyway, going to the review, everyone's favorite Idaho Freedom Index. It's just a great, it's just an easy metric to take a look and see roughly how the bills go. What you'll notice, which is pretty interesting, is the score. I wouldn't use the score as like the Bible of things, because even when you go to like Senator Lakey, he gets a very bad score, but it's like he's spearheading the abortion things. I mean, there's just a lot of issues that could be debatable, and whatever, and the analysis, they have a pretty strict analysis with how they rate these bills. So the main thing is you're going to find the bills that are like important to you, and then you see how they vote. So see, some of these, like, you're like, what's the big deal? Like, in how would vote. So House Bill, some kind of counseling commission with fingerprints. And I don't have the time to be like digging through this. So anyway, she voted no. And then you can see in here, I think they go like super deep into why they're analyzing it. This here. So let's see what. Use an example here. So -2. So the two things, it creates a larger agency and increases barriers to the market. So they tend to be, I guess, very free market, small government thing. And hypothetically, this is the same thing with critiques with libertarians, is that yeah, they focus on the money, but as we know, as what I believe it was, yeah, what Jesus says is, what gains a man? You gain the whole world, but you lose your soul. So I mean, typically libertarians tend to be open borders as well. So that's pretty much as much as you pro being invaded. Anyway, we'll just kind of go through. A lot of these are pretty not that big of a deal. Let me see here. Um, okay, so this one was a big issue regarding the fentanyl thing, and because there aren't so many, there are only so many bills that have been voted on this early in the session. So I think they all start piling up in the end. So here you can see Representative Lambert voted in favor of the minimum sentencing. So this was a huge ding on her according to their score, but come on, it's like, come on. And Senator Lakey spearheaded this. I'm not sure if it is on here. I thought it already got to them. Okay, here it is. Yeah. So here he voted yes for it. So this was a ding across the board for all of them. Am I gonna cast the stone against them? It's like, I mean, I guess that is part of the debate, but I'm pretty neutral on this. I could go either way, just because I put a higher emphasis on morality rather than the fiscal sort of things. The soul of Idaho, of the people of Idaho. All right. Okay, so this was another issue regarding enhanced carry. This she voted yes. So let's see where Representative Durrant voted. She voted yes too. So I mean, like what I kind of noticed going through these and is that I'm not even, yeah, looks like it didn't even get to the Senate yet. So what I noticed is um, they they've all. I mean, maybe it's because it's election year. Like the main hot topic items, they seem to they seem to be voting. I haven't really seen anything. Normally, or historically speaking, right, with regarding the score. Her lifetime score was 52.6. What does that really mean? And then Senator Lakey also got a 53.2%. But that was previous years, and this year they're running for election, so maybe they're being a lot more careful because there tends like you're not gonna most people aren't gonna track every single bill and um, so let's see here. I don't know if I want to review minus ones. Okay, so here's a minus two. 5 years of the sunset clause for the Idaho Immunization Assessment Board. All right, so I would assume she voted no because that sounds like you're increasing the government size. And let's see what Representative Durrant voted. That's H0439. And she voted yes. So I guess all of these things start adding up. I'm not sure if I want to, if any of the ones or the minus ones, maybe they're just not really that interesting. Either way, they're not really hot button. Okay, here it is. Um, oh, see, now this one is okay. Okay, so this is the face mask thing. All right, very interesting. This one's pretty interesting. So they wanted to prevent government agencies. Well, let's just read what the title says because there's a whole thing. House Bill 493 would bar and state its political subdivisions from requiring people to use face masks or their face coverings to prevent or slow the spread of a disease. So this was debated quite a bit all across the board. So how does she vote for it? I'm almost positive she voted for it. And now, because I resized the window, she voted yes on it. I cannot scroll. Let me see if I can refresh that. I think that one still is good. Okay. Oh, the AI. I don't know if I want to go into that one. Let's see the mass subdivisions. Here it is for the masks. She voted yes. So, that's great. All right, let's see if no, there's nothing there. Or subdivision. it's still taking some time for it to cross over to the other side. And sometimes what happens is the bills get the chair, I believe, of the committees can decide what bills are being heard before it has to go through the committee before it can go to the floor. So I think is that that's pretty much it in terms of the major votes. Um, 6 month waiting period. Okay. I, don't, I think yeah. I guess you need a waiting period to get the voting purposes. So I mean, you can go in here and you can see what sort of hot button issues, but I just kind of ignored any of the ones that were one or just size of one. They're not very big. So all right, that's them two. All right, let's go to Senator Lakey. Now, Senator Lakey, in my previous episode, or his interview with the Main Street Caucus, I found as well that all of the if you review, I mean, pretty much all the videos I've reviewed with him, you can go through the history. But yeah, I mean, you know, the, like I said regarding libertarian ideology, and um, sometimes you don't want an ideologue. You can't to get stuff done, and sometimes you need compromises. Anyway, so here's the fentanyl thing. He said yes to that, so that was a big hurt for him. Um, but I mean, you can see like -1, right? I'm going to guess he voted yes, right? So you have all of these little dings that just start adding up. But then when you look at like the big ticket items, he tends to vote like how you want him to. So that's then when you start seeing him, kind of get this like middle score, right? Lifetime score 53.2, because he'll, all of the little things, or maybe some of these big things, which could, I mean, it just starts adding up. It's just math, right? And to you, maybe, like for example, this might be 0 when they make it -4, and then regarding the abortion thing, that might be a +20, and I think so. So for example, here the 6 month supply issue. This came up in the Senate. Require health benefit plans to pay for a 6 month supply of contraceptives at one time. And I believe I saw the discussion. It was like because people would run out. Anyway, I think he voted no. See, he voted no. Um, let's see. Free speech suspension zones would significantly expand the free speech suspension zones around polling places. Is this like a big issue, but it's a -2? Um, and he voted yes on it, right? So then he got dinged on it. Is it that big of a deal? you know, I mean, does it really equate to, like, for example, this one, right? This is the Roundup pesticides issues. Now on the scoring, they're equal, but is it really equal, like in terms of your personal priorities? Maybe not. Senate Bill 1245 would exempt pesticide producers from liability under any provision or doctrine of state law, including without limitation state tort law or relevant common law, as long as they were in compliance with federal EPA regulations. So how did he vote on that? Oh my God. Sorry. Let's see here. I'm going to just refresh this. I think this had to deal with the Roundup. They said this was like a Roundup bill. And it was supported by... So what is he? He voted yes. So people are saying, oh, they're in the pockets of the Roundup company. I can go to that hearing to see... Oh, you know what? Anyway, it didn't pass. So it's irrelevant. Can you... I mean, I could probably pull up the clip of him talking about this, why he voted the way he did. I don't know. Is it a big enough issue for me to care? I don't know. All right. Okay, so here, smartphone and tablet. Interesting. Oh, okay. All right, Senate Bill 1253 would impose criminal liability on smartphone and tablet manufacturers whose devices do not automatically activate censorship filters. So I believe on the House side, they're actually trying to get age verification on like basically porn websites. And then this one, they were trying to do it on smartphones. There's a whole history on that. So how did he vote on that? He voted yes for it. Um, and they're giving this, a negative score. I mean, to me, they were saying about this bill, like they were saying that it's so easy to get around because you just open up a different browser. Um, -3. I mean, that's a huge negative. Is it really that big of a deal, to us day to day? I mean, like, imagine if, say, for example, they, it's yeah. Anyway, sorry. I mean, this is not meant to be like an Idaho Freedom Foundation bashing session. It's just, you know, it's just to understand how these scoring systems work. So, before I really understood this, I would just like bash on these guys because they're voting, you know, their scores, just looking at their scores. But then when you start looking into the scores and you see what they actually do, my opinion has, drastically changed. All right, so here he voted yes. Okay, what is this? Senate Bill 1289 would create a complicated and arduous process for parents seeking to protect their children from being exposed to pornographic content in public schools and libraries. Okay, so this one was actually very recently. I think this was like even yesterday. Um, but anyway, he voted yes for it. I mean, it's not the process was super long. Senator Herndon. I mean, this starts going into state level politics. If you're interested, you can see because this was like within the last couple of days that they talked about this. Um, I mean, it's better. I guess you could say it's better than nothing. The House has their own version, and the Senate bill one was supposedly to be more of a compromise. But yeah, I mean, now you see, just I think that's pretty much it. I don't really because he actually did vote on the abortion stuff um, regarding that, and I don't really see that here. So um, that was one of the things is like you know when you're looking at things primarily from like a freedom or financial side of things, the questions of morality aren't necessarily brought up. So because I know I reviewed that and it's not on here at all. But anyway, that's pretty much it. This is this is good enough for the review. Actually, now I'm curious, so I'm gonna look that up because I know I've made videos on that regarding his vote on abortion. Um, this was earlier on. So I'm just taking a look on a different screen here. All my previous posts. I do have a search function. Okay. May I wonder maybe it was the previous year. Maybe yeah, I'm getting things mixed up. Maybe no, I thought there was some kind of law. I mean, oh, that's right. I did a super in-depth performance review with him. Um, Let me see if it is. I'm looking at 2023, or is this 2024? It is not. Switching years. All right, but anyway, I'm. Oh, it just took some time. Let me see if I can go to 2023. Yeah, I can't find it now. I'm pretty sure that abortion thing, and when it comes up again, I'll probably take a when I can see it, I'll probably take a further look into that and see if the Idaho Freedom Foundation actually covered that bill. I don't remember that exact bill. I have to do more research. All right, have a good one. Bye bye.